Feel free to join. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Jai Shri Ganesh. Thank you for your warm words and gathering here to reflect on the profound teachings of Shri Ganesh. As we know, whenever we begin an auspicious task, we are advised to invoke Shri Ganesh, the wiper of sorrows, the remover of obstacles and hurdles, and bringing joy into our lives. But today, I want to dive deeper into the wisdom behind not just invoking him, but truly internalizing his qualities and teachings in our own lives. We have all heard the story how Shri Ganesh was born. According to ancient tales, Lord Shankar, or commonly known as Shiva, had gone into the mountains for deep meditation. The goddess Parvati, with her own girth on her body, created a little boy and breathed life into him. She instructed him to stand on the door while she took a bath and forbade him from allowing for anyone to enter. To her surprise, when Lord Shiva returned that day from his meditation, he was stopped by a young boy. The boy, unaware of who Lord Shiva was, firmly refused to let him in. This enraged Shiva so much that in his fury, he cut the boy's head. Upon hearing the grief-stricken wails of Parvati, Shiva realized his mistake and promised to rectify it by attaching the first head that came across their path. That happened to be an elephant, and thus Ganesh was born with the head of an elephant. When we listen to the story, we have many questions. Why did Sri Shiva, being such a kind deity, cut a boy's head promptly by just refusing it? He was just discharging his deity. Well, when we say cutting the head, we never said that we actually killed the boy. Because this is for shock for some people. Like if me and you meditate for 10 minutes, we cannot even raise our voice. But a deity who meditated for 10 years cut a boy's head? Well, there's a more deeper, profound spiritual meaning behind this. When we always say that Shiva cut the head of the boy, it actually represents that Sri Shiva cut the ego of the boy. Because when we come down to earth, we promise to God to pray every day, to show devotion. But we always forget that promise due to our ego and body consciousness. So that's why in our body consciousness and ego, we always fail to recognize God. So Sri Shivaji cut the boy's head, meaning cut the ego, and taught him and gave him a head of wisdom, a representation of an elephant. So, why did he say when we cut off the ego? We put on a new head. God gives us a head with wisdom, humility, and lots of many divine traits. So, if we closely look, a person has. And when we need to look farther, for farsightedness distance, we always shrink our pupils. So this in proportion shows that you should have lots of thinking power, but also look far ahead. Before you do any karma, any action, you should look at the consequences before heading to do that karma, to make that thought, but to always look ahead to find a positive consequence. Another thing we notice here is that Shri Ganesh has big ears, massive ears, but a tiny mouth. This shows that we should listen more, but talk less. And another thing we notice about his ears are that it's shaped like a sieve. A sieve allows to filter out the bad information and only put in good. Because in our Kali time, it's an age of machines. We have access to social media and some harmful information. So that's why we should always filter out the bad information and always keep the positive information in our head. Another big feature we have seen is the trunk. The trunk symbolizes that in life you have to be strong yet flexible. A trunk can break off a tree, but it can also make twists and turns. So that shows that in life you have to be flexible yet strong.
I'm good, and you?
So this is what it actually symbolizes. Sri Ganesh is known as Ek Dant, meaning that he has only one tusk, the other one's broken. This symbolizes the symbol of strength and flexibility, qualities needed to navigate through obstacles. There's a story that one day a sage needed help, and so Sri Ganesh broke his trunk in order for the sage to write down modak, the sweet. Ganesh is often shown holding a modak, a sweet which represents the joys of life and the rewards of hard work. Modak is made out of sweet rice flour in connection with God, a sweet reward.